Hi, we are with the Madison County Composite team known as the Mad Hatters. We are the mountain bike team for Madison County. This year, National Interscholastic Cycling Association is the national umbrella that Kentucky Interscholastic Cycling Association operates under. So all of that is to say it's like the KHSAA version of mountain biking, for my people who speak high school and middle school sports. So this is a mountain bike team for middle school and high school students. As Vince has mentioned, we've had over 150 middle school and high school students compete under the league this year. Madison County's team, as many teams, it's our first year. We finished the year with 7 riders, 6 riders that were competing at state championship by the end. We had 3 riders that were able to compete in every single race. There are 5 races throughout the fall season. It's a fall season sport. We did not start the team until August 1st, and still were able to get up off the ground. And several people have approached me and Shane and Heidi throughout the day and said, we want a team in our area, how do we get started? And really what happened was Mike Hale, who spoke earlier, put out a call on Facebook and said, we need a team in Madison County, folks. I've got a kiddo who really wants to ride. I have a bike shop that wants to support the team. I can't coach. Who can coach? And we were really lucky that Heidi Mirasola Justice stepped up for the team and was able to take over as head coach. So I'll turn it over to her.
So thanks everyone. I came to Kentucky about 3 years ago and was here for about a year, and then COVID hit, and then just trying to integrate myself here in the state and meet new people. And I thought, well, how can I meet people here? So I thought, well, I want to get back into mountain biking. It's something that's been a part of my life. And I went to one of the events in Lexington at the trails there and had the opportunity to meet Miss Danielle. I said, I want to coach. And she said, interestingly enough, there's somebody who needs a coach. So I was put in touch with Mike Hale. And he's like, you're signed up, you're head coach. And I'm thinking, wait, I want like maybe assistant coach first. So got thrown to the wolves, and it's been awesome. It's been amazing. It's wonderful to work with these kids and to support them and encourage them, to help them set goals and see them either attain the goals, or if they don't quite make it, to encourage them to try better next time. It's been a fun season. It's been great to be a part of the inaugural season for the Kentucky League, and we're looking forward to expanding in the years to come. We already have kids that kind of met us at the end of the year, and they said we're ready to sign up, or we'll start next year. So we're looking forward to more growth here coming up in the next year.
We're hoping to get involved with different aspects of NICA. They have an adventure group and race, and the team trail crew, and then grit. We're wanting to get involved with all those aspects. And with the Berea Trails moving in now, we've got an avenue to follow those routes. So we're hoping to spread out and get more involved in that this year also.
Yeah. So you're seeing a theme throughout the day, right? It's kind of that if you build it, they will come theme. As Berea has built, everything has just exploded. So we did bring a couple of our riders, because let's face it, you've heard it from the adults all day long. But we did also bring a couple of our racers with us, because we wanted you to be able to hear from them and kind of what the impact has been for them. So I guess if you'd like to
could y'all move over just to the podium to the way? Or just roll the podium out of the way? Yeah, just slide that podium out.
Okay.
Oh, it doesn't mean this.
There you go.
Hello, my name is Eli Pointer. I am an 8th grade rider for the Mad Hatters mountain bike team. 2 months ago, I had never ridden a mountain bike trail, but now I can ride most trails that you put me on. And I just love mountain biking. If you ask me what I wanted to do other than skiing, it would be mountain biking.
Skiing, of course.
I've gotten really confident with mountain biking, and it's just so much fun, and it's helped me focus on one thing, because in real life, not just mountain biking, because when you're mountain biking, you can't look at the trees, you have to look at the trail, or you're gonna wreck. So it helps with, in real life, how you have to focus on one thing, like school or something like that. And I just hope that you guys can help give other kids opportunities like this one. Thank you.
Add a little something? Do you want to introduce yourself at least?
Don't you?
Do you want me to introduce you?
So question for y'all.
Okay.
What was your favorite race venue? What was the most fun trail?
Veterans Park.
What was your favorite trail?
The first one. First actual race.
Bear.
The first actual race was
Capital
View.
Interesting. So Heidi is talking about, hey, I'm part of this new league at the Twisted Oliver Trail Fest, which is not related to the league. And I'm sitting there going, oh, by the way, so we have this commission meeting coming up, and it's in your neighborhood, and we need your team out. And they were recruited to come out and talk to us today. So we really, really appreciate the team coming out, sticking with us all day. This is the best thing going for mountain biking in Kentucky. We've got kids that are now learning about being good stewards, being good teammates, not only with each other, but they're helping other kids from other teams. And pit zone is this long, if you think IndyCar, where they got all little garages set up, well, think that on both sides. And there's kids always moving back and forth between the teams and meeting each other and new folks. And this is just, what do we have? 12 teams? How many teams?
13.
13? Yeah.
13. And we just found out that the Northern Kentucky team, Roots, is joining. So we'll have it in for next year, so that'll be 14. And the London County team, you got a team yet? You gonna be a coach? Come on out.
She's working on it. I'm working with her. We're gonna get London
There you
set.
go.
I answered all of our questions earlier about how to get more work started.
So now we'll hear about the finer details from Denise. Thank you all very much for coming out.
Thank you to our team for coming out. This is one of our 13 teams. Our teams can range anywhere from 2 kids to 100 plus kids. It really doesn't matter. Oh, do you need me to use this? Do I
Yes,
have it
please.
loud enough? Okay. So my name is Denise Hill. I am the co-director for the Kentucky Interscholastic Cycling League. We are a chapter of the National Interscholastic Cycling Association. And that is a association that has 31 leagues. 31 leagues in 29 states. There are about 30,000 kids across the United States that take part in that organization, and so we're really proud that Kentucky has been able to become part of that organization. So, hey Keith, do you care if I
No problem.
do you want me just to do this?
No, I can do it.
Okay, if you just use the arrow keys. Got it? Okay. So let me give you a really brief history. I found this old cover to our sponsor menu. It's not even our logo. So in 2017, we sat down in a room in E-Town with Vince Carmen and some other folks, and I had just come back from track. Was a women's ambassador for them, and I had just come back, and I was like, what's this NICA thing? And I think Troy, Hearn, and Vince were like, yeah, we're trying to get this going. We're like, let's get this going. So we went to this meeting, and there were probably 10 of us there, and we said, what is this going to take? How are we going to move forward? And we just kind of started stumbling forward. In October 2019, we submitted our bid to NICA. It was a pretty lengthy proposal, something that you have to do, it's a requirement. And then we heard in May of 2019 that we were accepted as what they call an emergent league, to be part of that NICA league. So October 2019, we officially announced it. There was a big press release to let them know that Kentucky was officially joining the NICA organization. And then on April 23rd maybe, 2021, we had our very first annual Leaders Summit, which we're going to do again. That's where we bring all of our coaches and our league leadership together and do all of our training. And then in August, we had our very first event at Twisted Oliver, which was fantastic because it's a fairly new trail system, and it was a great place for us to hold one of our events. And so it kind of began, and we, after we got that bid in and found out that we'd been accepted to become a Submergent League, then we had, double down on development, funding, recruitment, our venue surveys, because we have very specific parameters for where we can hold our events. And then we did our onboarding and our staff training. It is about a year process to do that. So if you can imagine from 2017 until 2021, it has been something that I have lived, eaten, breathed, slept, and probably everybody around me. So also in the middle of this COVID hit, right in the middle of our fundraising, all of these people that had come in and pledged to support our league financially and in kind and done all these things, a lot of those people had to step away and say, we can't do that right now. Maybe we'll come in at another time. So we had to really go back out and find funding again. And fortunately for us, we had some people that really stepped up and helped us with the funding we needed. So, next slide. So who are we? We are the Kentucky Interscholastic Cycling League. We have programs that we offer from skills development to racing, grit. It's girls riding together. We'll get into all this. Teen Trail Core, adventure, and we're a lot more than that. Our values are fun, inclusivity, equity, community, and respect. We live and die by those. It's very important to us. Next slide. So skills development is really about practice. In skills development, we bring kids together. We focus on mountain bike skills, both on the bike and off the bike. Coaches get to work with each student athlete to help those students really attain their own goals as well as team goals. As you can imagine, we get to know those kids pretty well, very well, as a matter of fact. And a lot of our relationships become friendships with those families, and we really connect, and then we grow into the community simply through these practices. Next slide. And then we have racing. I like to say NICA and the Kentucky Interscholastic Cycling League, we're not just about racing. Our kids do not have to race, it's not mandatory. We have some kids that don't race at all. Although it's a little different, or racing is a little different, and most kids really enjoy it. A lot of kids that don't do it come out and check out a race, and then they're like, oh, okay, I'll do that. So it's a really nice thing to do. But if you've ever been to one of our races, you'll know that they're actually professionally set up. We have chip timing, we have course marshals, we have EMS. Everything we do is what you would find at a UCI professional race. So you're not going to come out and find some kind of haphazard event. It is fully set up and meant to serve these kids and the communities. Next slide. So Grit, probably one of my favorite programs. It's girls riding together. As we talked about, one of our values is equity, and creating equity for girls in the sport that is over 80% male, coaches included, really forces us to have to focus and find a way to draw those people in. So girls riding together is part of that. We have tents at all the events. We have camp that we did. A lot of these ladies were at our camp. We did a 2-day camp with a grant from RAFA to have female coaches and riders come out and learn how to work on their bikes, which is a tremendous way to build efficacy. You may not be the fastest rider on your team, but you may be the one that can fix everybody's bike, and that's really important. So we provide lots of opportunities for females and those who identify as female to come out and join in this kind of activity. So whether it's face painting, bike riding, mechanical, social, it's here to serve that community. Next slide. Teen Trail Core, this is Vince Carmen's baby. Thank you, Vince. So every rider, every coach are required to put in 20 hours of trail time every year. And the importance of that is, we've been sitting here talking about trail development, right? How does this stuff happen? Well, it doesn't happen on its own. You have to have bodies, you have to have labor. No, our kids don't use power tools. They're not out there with chainsaws or weed eaters or any of that, but they're great with rakes, they're great with shovels, they're great with wheelbarrows, they can move rocks. So they do this, they report, and then at the end of the year, we have an awards ceremony we just had, so the kids and coaches are acknowledged for their work. But the other thing it does is it really connects them to community. It connects them to those trails associations and the mountain bike groups that are building, maintaining, funding those trails, the municipalities. It teaches them about those relationships with the landowners. It teaches them about access. And access is huge. I don't know if any of you have ever been arrested for riding a mountain bike, but I have. And creating trail access is a real thing. Didn't happen here. But fighting for trail access is just like anything else. And we have to work with those landowners and those municipalities. And that's some of the stuff that our kids learn through this program. So next slide.
True to Kentucky spirit, and this is you hearing it for the first time from me, NICA national meeting 2 nights ago.
Oh, yeah.
Kentucky is 3rd in the nation for volunteer hours and coaches,
You hear that?
and
They've been around
5th in the nation for volunteer hours of student athletes.
That's right.
And this is the first year we're reporting in the program.
And they've been around 11 years. NICA's been around 11 years, 12 years.
But
Yeah.
it's the first full year for the program.
That's right, the first full year for ours, and we kick butt, so, as usual. So we also have adventure programming, and adventure is really about the art of being outside, what we teach. So everything from how to read new trail systems, map reading, preparedness, teaching leave no trace, trail etiquette, and a variety of other skills that you need for front country and back country. That's a program that's very new to us. It's a program that's very new to NICA, and they're developing it. I'm really excited about this because I think one of the number one things you have to figure out when you're a mountain biker is where the trailhead is. And you can get lost doing that. And so anyway, so our adventure program is really exciting. It's brand new, and we're happy that it's going to be up and coming. And I think we're going to do an event probably in the spring for this. So, okay, next slide. So we are so much more than mountain biking, as you can imagine. We have student athletes that when they graduate, they return back to us to coach. My team has 2 coming back next year. So while they're in college, they're going to come back and coach our team. I'm excited about that. Our volunteers get a taste for the fun. They get a taste of the fun, they get a taste for the fun. It is really fun to come and volunteer at a race or volunteer at a team event or just come out and be part of anything that we're doing because you get to participate. You don't have to sit on the sidelines. You can get to ride your bike, you can get to do the trail work, you can help with the face painting or whatever we're doing, you can be part of. You're not on the sideline, you're not benched, you're not watching anybody. Families ride. This is huge, huge. I talked to a family the other day, I work at Shelters Fitness and Cycling, they came into my bike shop and they said, hey, our kids live in Georgetown, do you have a team there? And I said, not yet, would you like to start one? And they were like, oh, we knew you were going to say that. And they're like, we don't ride mountain bikes. I said, who cares? You don't have to ride mountain bikes. We can teach you everything you need to know. And they're going to do it. And it's true because if you watch NICA videos from other leagues, they've got a lot of videos out there, there's always some mom going like, my teenage son wanted to ride bikes and there was no team, so I had to start it, and then I had a coach, and I hadn't ridden bikes since I was 7, and I certainly wasn't going to ride a mountain bike. Being a good coach is not about how good you are on your bike. It's really about your ability to relate to those kids and provide them the support they need. We have in Hardin E-Town, we have a woman named Vanessa Huffman. I'm sure some of you have met Miss Vanessa and her husband Stephen. They are not spring chickens, they're grandparents. And when they came to our Leaders Summit, her husband was like, I'm gonna be a terrible coach. And I'm like, you're the kindest, gentlest person I've met at this entire thing. Don't you think that children want that? Don't you think your fellow coaches? And so he's not there to be the fastest guy out leading racers. He's there that's going to be the one who's going to check on you, make sure you're doing okay, make sure that you have what you need. And we need all of that. So the thing that I like is families ride, and then communities get healthier, right? Because it's not just mom and dad out riding. Grandparents come, aunts and uncles come, church members come, work friends come out. Whole communities come out and they start doing this, and all of a sudden it's like, okay, we're all getting healthier together. What happened? How did this even happen? And it's because the kids are out there. And because it's a non-intimidating introduction to the sport. This is a Red Bull Rampage. We're not riding ourselves off the side of the mountain. Nothing wrong with that. That's not what we do. Local economies benefit. Right now, we have just recently partnered, Judd Bourne was here earlier, speaking from Kimba Bluegrass. I'm also an officer with Kimba Bluegrass. We just partnered, the KICL just partnered with Midway University. And so we have a partnership, we're doing economic impact studies to look at where our races are, how those impact because you can imagine, you have 300 people or more that come into a town for a weekend, and they need lodging, and they need food, and they need things to do. And it has a pretty stout impact for those couple of days. So we're looking at that. But that's one of the benefits of anytime you have a trail system in general. You have huge economic benefits. Then these partnerships emerge, just like that one with Midway. And that's kind of how this works. It's not just talking about it, you gotta be about it. We can talk all day long. I've been talking, I don't know, for as long as I can remember, since I was in my very early 20s, about climbing access and trail access and paddling access and historic site preservation. You gotta be about it. You can't just talk about it. We can't sit in these meetings any longer and talk about what we're gonna do. We have to just go do it. Get started, write a grant, put up a plaque, dig a trail in the ground, get moving. That's my request, please get moving, which is what happened with this. We came in and sat down and went, why is this taking so long? Why can't we get this league going? It's like, well, we're just gonna start. We're just gonna start bugging everybody we know, anybody who will listen, and that's how we started. So next slide, please. So how can you get involved? You can contact us at our website, KentuckyMTB.org. Hey, look who's on the, look who's up there on the podium. KentuckyMTB.org is our website. You can email me directly. I do have cards if you'd like one, or just info@KentuckyMTB.org. You can follow us on Instagram. It's at KentuckyMTB. Same for Facebook. You can volunteer. Please volunteer. We don't just need volunteers during what I call our on season, right? We need volunteers in our soft season. There's no such thing as an off season, even though we call it that. It's the soft season. You can volunteer, you can coach, you can start a team, you can sponsor. If you want, you can donate your time or your skills. If you have a particular skill set you're great at, we need you. In-kind donations, we always need in-kind donations. We need financial support. It's all there. It's just easy to get involved. Contact me and I will find a place for you, I promise. So next slide, please. So let's end here. So we hashtag MoreKidsOnBikes all the time. I've been doing this for quite some time. I'm sure that you've heard this again and again and again. And to Professor, to your point, this is not just about trails. This isn't just about trails. It's not just about byways. This is about communities. This is about Kentucky. It's about our health, number one. It's about our Kentucky pride. I moved to Kentucky. I came here from Michigan, through North Carolina, Tennessee, into Kentucky. And I love Appalachia. I love these regions. It was very frustrating to me to always hear people putting down these communities. It's ridiculous. And then our kids leave. They leave. They get educated and they leave. This is about giving our kids a reason to stay. That's what these byways are for. This is what these historical markers, these water, this is what all this is about. It's about getting people to stay and about bringing other people in. I recently heard from a municipality when we were talking about bringing a race to their facility. They said, we don't care about anything that's not happening in our community. And I'm like, they literally said, we don't care. We don't care about people coming from the outside. And I thought, how can you not? How can you not? If you look at Bentonville, Arkansas, if anybody's been there, holy cow. Now, do we have Walton money? No. We don't have Walton money. We don't need Walton money. We just have to start doing, and that's really what this is part of. That's what this is about for me. It wasn't just about getting kids on bikes. It was about giving us some traction, giving people a reason to care, giving people a reason to want access and trails and to lift their communities, right? To lift us towards health, towards prosperity. I believe wholeheartedly, I'm on a little bit of a soapbox here, in my mind, you go to the Kentucky Tourism website and it's split. There's a screen that says luxurious refinement and another one that says wild adventure. And then it just says endless possibilities, right? That's Kentucky. Other people don't know it. I mean, everybody in this room knows it. The trout fishing, the cycling, the hunting, the hiking, the climbing, the backpacking, it's all there, right? So, come join us on this journey. And let's get a little more traction under us. We just gotta get kids on bikes and we'll be good. That's my pitch. Thank you all. I know you had a really long day. I appreciate you letting me talk at the end here. If you have any questions, don't hesitate to reach out or to one of our wonderful coaches, families. We're all happy to answer. Okay? Any questions? Yeah?
Did you get any dirt yet in Frankfurt?
So it's really funny, yeah. So we're looking for dirt. I always say I like being the Kimba Bluegrass treasure because I get to spend my money on stickers and dirt, which is every kid's dream. We are looking for dirt, Kimba Bluegrasses. We need about We need about 1,000 cubic yards, which is, I know, a lot, right? Well, building jump lines, it takes a lot. But right now I'll look for anything I can get. I've got, this is how we get connected. We start talking. A guy on my team, one of my coaches, works for an irrigation company. They dig all the time. He's like, I got a 14-foot dump trailer. I'll bring it. But we need more dirt. I need fill dirt. I don't need clean dirt. I just need fill dirt. So, yeah.
I can work on it.
Let me know if anybody knows. It has to go to West 6 Farm.
They're still digging Buffalo out.
As soon as you get, yeah, we need to, as we dredge Buffalo,
There's
bring it this
no
way. Yeah, it's the matter of getting it to West 6 Farm in Frankfurt.
Would the league be interested in expanding to, like, teaching kids about bike touring and taking them on 3-4 day trips?
Right, so that would be part of our adventure programming. So the answer to that is yes. We have pretty strict parameters for what we can do, but we can do that. We just can't do any of it on road. We are strictly a trail driven organization. That has to do with risk mitigation, really, because we can't bring traffic into it. But yes, absolutely, we do the multi-day camps, bike packing, yeah.
I'll be happy to help. I took kids from YMCA in the Cincinnati area on overnight trips. I started a bike program on
Wonderful. Well, I will put you in touch with Michael Yarborough. He is our adventure coordinator, and we'll let you talk to him, and maybe we can come up with something for next year.
What's the cost to field a team?
So I started my team with my own money, about $300. It is, if you look at the budget, it looks undoable. Like $20,000. I'm like, no, you know. You need enough money to pay for your certification, which is about $100 total, and then to register the team, which our team registrations were $100. I should know.
Maybe 150.
It was 115 or something like that.
Per team or per athlete?
Per team.
Per team.
Per team. So, but well, that doesn't register the athletes. The fee structure is a little different. I will tell you this: the sport is much cheaper than any sport out there. I can promise you that. Bikes are not cheap, but you don't have to have a fancy bike. You say run what you run. We're very happy as long as it's working to have people out there. But it is about $300 to get yourself registered as a head coach and get your team officially registered. And then student athletes pay for their own. There are scholarships available. Trek Bicycles has a scholarship program called Pathfinders. They funded a team in Shelby County this year. They gave 5 students a brand new bike, paid all their fees. They gave them all of their equipment and clothing, helmets, everything. And Trek, it wasn't one time. Those students that continue, Trek will pay their fees every year until they graduate. So there are scholarships available. We're working on there's something called the Beckett Biking Fund. Steve Beckett, my co-director, started. We will help fund children who need it or coaches. Again, equity is a big piece. You got anybody that doesn't have the money, get them to come to us. They don't have to tell us the why or wherefore. We don't care. Just say, we need funding. We're going to help you.
Individual teams can submit for Paul and I grants.
That's right. Oh yeah, that's right.
So Paul and I grants in the past have been awarded for KICL teams, and
So here's the funny little tidbit about Paul and I. Our league is not actually eligible for it. And we got to change that. This really got me last year because we applied for a grant we really needed. Again, that COVID, whole situation happened. We are based, NICA, we are a chapter of NICA. They're based out of California. So we do all of our business, all of our fundraising, everything happens here in Kentucky. No money goes back to California. And we have all the paperwork, all the legal stuff in place to operate in Kentucky as a Kentucky 501c3. But because our parent program's in California, we're not eligible for Paula and I.
Are you calling it Paul and I?
Paula, Nye. Yeah, sorry.
Paula.
Nye, N-Y-E.
So we're going to fix that. We're going to work on that. We're going to work with National. They're like, all the paperwork's there. It's like, well, paperwork doesn't always help. So, but those teams are eligible. So make sure.
And we're seeing a lot of synergy between the league and then the mountain bike clubs.
Oh yeah.
Our club, all of the students, thanks to a generous donation, all of our student families are now Kimba Lincoln Trails families. And then also once or twice a year, we put out a call for bicycle donations, especially the 26-inch bikes that are now not in vogue anymore, so people are ditching them all over the place. And we rebuild them and we give them to students.
Yeah.
So we're actually we're teaching them the recycling aspect. But Falls City Community Bike Works, Crank Works, stuff like that kind of makes it a little easier to get into the sport. And if you run into a problem, let us know. Troy's volunteer coordinator. I'm on it. Danielle's on it. We'll find a way to get a kid
You guys
on a
remember
bike.
where my funding came from this next year? Bluegrass Cycling Club, the road club, is funding my team through Pedaling for a Purpose. So, you know, we talk about mountain biking like it's a whole separate thing from what we're doing. It's not. We are so connected. Kimba Bluegrass, I know we're going to be doing some ride to, we're trying to connect with different organizations. So we're going to do some ride to trout fishing. We're going to do some riding. I know we're doing an event with the Bluebird Club at West Sixth Farm. They're doing an event, like, mountain biking is not about, again, riding a bike off the side of the mountain. It's about being in the woods, connecting to community, connecting to land. So that's why we're here.
And having fun.
Yeah, well, fun. Fun's number one in our values. Number one, fun. So thank you all so much. I appreciate it.
As always, we hope you found this content useful. If you did, please like the video and consider subscribing to the channel. Thanks.